What's up, buddy? Oh, you better calm down. We got a lot of stuff to do today. I'm gonna go ahead and rip as much of this wiring harness as we can and get it flopped out of the way and get it cleaned up to where it's just a engine with all the shit. I want to drain the coolant system, try and get the radiator shroud out, get the radiator out, and get a little bit more room to play so we can start taking these accessories off, get power steering out, all that fun stuff. So here we go. Not even 5 minutes into undoing some wiring harnesses. All of these broke right there. This plastic is so brittle, there's nothing we can do. And then I go to take this plug out, and the wiring decided to just come right out of that little clip there. So that'll be fun. It's always a good time when that happens. Go ahead and throw this in the pile of shit, and we'll just keep on trucking along, because who doesn't love doing wiring repairs on a POS 95? It's my favorite. Oh, pop that off. Pop that off. See there, that one broke too. Having a good time today. Pull those vacuum lines off right there. And take this bracket off, take that out of the way, and then I should be able to get to this injector rail a little bit better. No extension needed. There's one. I'm guessing the other one's all the way in the back where you can't get to it, because that would just make the most sense, you know. What's the most difficult way we can put a car together to where you get to be climbing in and out of an engine bay every 35 seconds to work on it? There we go. Let's try to not drop this nut down in the intake. Oh, didn't even come out with the socket, so we got that going for us. And it looks like we got another bolt right there we got to get. Modules. Don't know what it goes to. Well, that's not good. That's not good at all. Quick little update on the progress of the F-150. I was working on it the other day and my phone died while I was recording. So I did a bunch of stuff that is not gonna be in the video, but I got all the wiring harness on the top end up out of the way on this side, up out of the way on this side. Basically every connector I had broke because it's just this brittle old plastic. Got the AC lines up out of the way, got the drive belt off, got the radiator hoses off. There was barely any coolant in the engine and on the radiator, so that probably explains the overheat problem. Looks like they had a water pump put on fairly recently, so that's good. You know, don't have to worry about replacing anything like that. I gotta try and go ahead and pull the radiator off today. Might try and get the exhaust manifolds off, get ready to pull the motor. I just ordered the gasket set and some new bearings and rings for it. Go ahead and clean this motor up, get it rebuilt top to bottom, ready for some twin turbos. Gonna start trying to take off the exhaust manifolds, get them unbolted from the motor. After that, I got the starter, bell housing bolts from the flywheel, and the line's going to power steering pump. And I believe I have everything off already to yank the motor out. I'm hoping I'll have enough clearance from here to here to get it up out of the way of the firewall and get it up out, ready to yank out. I gotta find some brackets to bolt up to the side of the heads in the back and up here to hook a chain up to it, but I think I got something at the shop that might be able to, I might be able to make work. I can already tell I'm gonna be doing some wiring repairs. All the connectors back here are just shot. I mean, I can plug them back in, but I don't know if they're gonna lock, and if I'm taking this thing and beating the ever-living hell out of it, the last thing I need is the plugs for the injectors coming loose and I just start misfiring like a banshee. So hopefully I can find some new connectors and splice them in and make it brand new again. I'm also praying to sweet baby Jesus that I'm not gonna have a problem taking, oh, okay, never mind. That was easy. I feel like they're not all gonna be that loose though. And I don't have any PB blast or anything like that, because that would just be too easy, you know. Gotta have everything complicated as possible. I'll put these right there, because, you know, that's a good spot to lose everything. Oh, okay, we're 2 for 2 so far. Let's not jinx ourselves, but things are starting to look pretty easy. It's a lot better than I would have thought it was gonna be. I was pretty afraid of taking these manifolds off. I feel like I was gonna be fighting it and breaking off every stud in the head you could possibly imagine. Not bad. Not bad at all. I can get it to come off so I can, there we go. I'm real curious to start tearing into this motor internally, see how bad everything is. Like I said, I'd got new rod main bearings coming for it. Got new piston rings. I think I'm gonna keep the pistons that are in it. Hopefully they're half-ass decent enough to where I can reuse them. I know putting twin turbos on it's definitely gonna be a little aggressive for the internals, but I'm hoping everything will hold. But I'm definitely gonna have to get used to pulling this motor out, because I got a pretty good feeling that it's gonna get ugly really quick. These last two I'll have to wait. Can't hold the camera and get them. I'll get this other side started. Well, geez, I don't even think that one was all the way in. I mean, that was too easy. This has got the bracket for the dipstick here. Oh, got another bracket back there for the those modules. I had no idea what they go to, but we'll make sure we keep that. Because, you know, it's important to put it back to how it looked, even though it's definitely not how it's gonna happen with this. can already tell you. Oh, is this just spinning? I hope it's not just spinning. Oh shit. Come on, baby. Let me grab a screwdriver and try and get it to pry out a little bit. See if it might just be stuck. You good, man? You all right? Over here coughing up a storm, eating all that dirt. Yeah, I don't think it's spinning inside. I think it's just stuck. Yep, there it goes. It was just rusted in. I couldn't get to it all the way. Yeah, this is a lot better than what I thought. I was not looking forward to taking these off. I was actually thinking about leaving the manifolds on and taking it by the where it meets the rest of the exhaust. But I figured that would be just as bad, if not worse, than taking it off with the manifold, because you break those studs off, it's a nightmare and a half trying to get new ones, and almost rather drill the bolts out of the head, because considering the motor's coming out, it ain't gonna hurt nothing. I have no idea if I'm gonna replace the valve springs. I can 99% tell you I'm probably gonna just end up reusing the valves and everything, but as far as the valve springs go, I think I might end up reusing those too. Just depends on how everything looks once I get it torn off. As soon as I get it out, oops. As soon as I get the engine out, I'm gonna go ahead and take those valve covers off first and see how bad the valve train is, and then go from there. Take that bracket off, all the washers, keep that right there. Got all the bolts off the manifold on the passenger side, but there's not exactly a whole lot of play to be able to get it off. So it looks like it's gonna have to stay there until I'm ready to pull the motor. I got one more bolt on this side that isn't exactly the same as the other side, so I gotta find a socket that fits that, and then pull that bolt out, and then manifolds will be good. And I guess I have to find a way to crawl up underneath here and get the bell housing bolts. I don't have a jack here or any jack stands, so it's gonna be a tight squeeze, but I gotta get the bell housing bolts and pull the starter, which is gonna suck, but it's gotta get done. So I started taking the bell housing bolts out. I got all of them done on that side. I got the two up top. There's one on the middle and one on the bottom I still got left that I can't get to from up top. And the truck's just so low to the ground with the muffler sitting right there. There's no chance in hell I can get to it. I'm gonna have to jack this car up, get it on jack stands. And I might have to end up taking the exhaust from the manifold where it meets with that the muffler right there, get that up out the way to get the last two bell housing bolts and get the starter off, because the starter's tucked up underneath it right to where I can get the bottom bolt, the top bolt, it looks like it's impossible to get to, so it should be a good time. I gotta go to the shop tomorrow, get the jack, and see about finding some jack stands and getting it up high enough to where I can slide under it without trying to kill myself, because this thing is a lot lower than any of the four-wheel drive trucks I've ever worked on. So, but not too bad progress for only working on it for about 3 days. Once I get the bell housing bolts out and the starter, I mean, this thing's ready to pull. Hoping I can get all the parts here by the time I get the motor out. That way, as soon as I get the engine on the stand, I can immediately just start tearing down and not having to wait for anything. So I'm happy with it so far. It's going good. So I got the truck jacked up on jack stands so I can get under it. Got the starter out. Got the last bell housing bolt out. Now I just got to spin the motor over a couple times to get all the bolts to the flywheel out, and it'll be ready to pull. I still got to find some brackets to hook up to the side of the heads to get the chain, and but I'm happy with the progress. I'm looking like it's probably gonna be, engine's gonna be out here in a couple days. I got the rebuild gasket kit here, Felpro. Gonna go ahead and gotta get an engine stand for it. But gonna get an engine stand this week, get the engine out on the stand, start tear down, cleaning up. Probably gonna work on getting the engine bay cleaned up too. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. I was working on the truck and got fiberglass all over both of my arms, and to say the least, it was not fun. So I'm gonna try and figure out something to do with that. I wanna go ahead and clean up the engine bay. I might repaint the inside of the fenders and the firewall, either all black, match the wheel liners and everything, or repaint it the red. But I don't know if I'm gonna go that far into it, but I at least want to get it cleaned up, pressure washed, make it look somewhat presentable. But I definitely can't complain. Making decent progress on it so far. I just wish I had a little bit of help every now and then, because getting them bell housing bolts out kicked my ass.
I mean, that little fucking ram charge, man.